Climate change, as I understand it, refers to our natural world changing. I think previously there's been a lot of talk around greenhouse gases and temperatures rising. That only really captures just the tip of the iceberg. In terms of arts and climate change and what the role could be, I think arts have a particular way of bringing people together. There's a strong sense of collaboration as well as being in collective spaces. There's something really important about theatre spaces, sitting next to other people when reflecting, that I think is vital. I'm a dance artist based in Glasgow and I'm originally from Ngunnawal country, Australia. Over the last few years I've been really interested in how arts and climate change can work together. We're here today to talk about my work Burnt Out, which I made in response to the devastating Australian Black Summer bushfires of 2019 to 2020. And I was working actually here in the workroom with Paul Michael Henry, who is the composer of the work. We took literally sounds from that time, like magpies imitating fire engines, shark sirens used to warn people on the beaches, and Michael was able to take these and embed them in the soundscape.
I can still hear the emergency warning sirens.
Last year this work was awarded the Touring Fund from Creative Scotland, and it toured all across from the Central Belt down to Dumfries and all the way up to Shetland, and we did this predominantly on public transport. So I start the show and I'm presenting this article, which is a CO2 newsletter. It's an article that my father was collecting. He's an environmental geochemist. What's important to remember that this is written in 1979, and the kind of anger that this can evoke, because we knew that this stuff was happening. So for me, there's the message that goes on stage, but also off stage, the work that Katy Dye as Sustainability Planner has done around the show.
How I approach creativity in my role as Sustainability Advisor is working with the artists to see how we can build sustainability into their project from inception to delivery. How can sustainability open up a creative process? We supported the team members to make sure they were able to take public transport, and our budgets and timelines reflected this. 90% of the journeys that we took in this project were on public transport, which meant that there was a 74% reduction in our carbon footprint in comparison to a standard model of doing the same project. We ensured that we were working with reduce, reuse and recycle for our design elements, so making sure that everything that we were using had already been used in the world in some way.
In the show there's several props that I use. So actually this lump of coal comes from Ngunnawal country in Australia. I went out with my father, we looked together. It's something that I place in different places in the stage, but it also starts to leave traces of coal dust on my hand, which is also reminiscent of the fires themselves. This is also particularly pertinent within the area of New South Wales. 80% of the electricity produced in New South Wales is coal produced.
Sustainability can affect the creative process in really exciting ways. We were working with the designers and marketing team to create sustainable risograph posters.
It's recycled paper, the ink is all from vegetable dyes, and I think this is one of the exciting things, because it's a new method of printing. Brian then needed to go away and to learn how to design the artwork for this style. So there's a lot of detail in the different shades that comes out with risograph, and so this is sustainability meeting again this sense of understanding and growing our own arts practice.
We also held different post-performance discussions to link up with local climate activists and artists to discuss what was going on in different people's local areas that they could do to take action around climate justice.
For the Burnt Out tour, it felt important to have the local post-show discussion people so that audience members can connect with actions after the event. I think that's really key. It's not just about the performance, it's about directing people towards what's already happening in their communities. The arts have a particular role in the way that they can bring voices and stories to the stage that are perhaps less heard, less represented in other parts of society. But I think there's a lot that we can still do in terms of organisation, in terms of touring, the really practical things that can be made greener. And I know from speaking to other sectors that the arts are often leading the way. And from what I understand, that's about the quality of the collaboration, I think, between artists, between venues, between organisation, that makes the arts in a really special place to take big steps forwards.